Good morning. This is going to be Story Hour with Scott. And I don't usually do this. Very rarely do I make videos and post anymore. You know, the last ones back in the day almost got me killed. Anyway, I'm going to tell you that mental illness is a real thing. Never discount somebody when they tell you that they have a mental illness or that they're having issues dealing with stuff. Because if you look around, everybody has stuff they're dealing with right now. I wish they would just stop it with all the nonsense media and the YouTube and all that. It's just driving people crazy. So anyway, my story goes, I have COPD and I've had some breathing issues for years. Some of my friends know this. Over the years, I've had several attacks where they were downright panic attacks, couldn't breathe. But recently, I've had 3 of them. And one of them, I actually had to call an ambulance. And they come out, make sure I wasn't having a heart attack. I thought I was going to die. Right on the garage floor over a panic attack. At the time, I really truly thought it was a heart attack. I thought this might be couldn't breathe, chest was exploding. So anyway, the main subject, I don't want to make this too long, the main subject of this is mental health. I've always been pretty wired right, you know, I'm a pretty wired straight guy, angry as hell. I mean, how can you not be? The state of Wisconsin tried to have me murdered. They locked up my son for the rest of my life to cover it up. And the governor is a dirtbag and covered it up. So, you know, I mean, I'm not going to dwell on that too long, but how can you not have a little anxiety in your system? So, this recent episode, I had the ambulance come out. They left me there. They were okay. The next night, I woke up in a complete panic attack in the middle of the night. I couldn't control it. I couldn't breathe. I had to have her call the ambulance again, and they took me to the hospital this time. I got my first elderly man ambulance ride. I thought I was having a heart attack. They did all the blood tests, and they came back and assured me right away, you are not having a heart attack. I am just some wire in my brain got fried. Literally. I don't know how this happens. I fried a wire. So now this happens all the time. I can't get over these anxiety attacks. Mental health is a real thing. I am a normal 61-year-old man that can barely keep a grip on shit right now. They got me on these fucking lorazepams. They don't help. So I've talked to a counselor and I've talked to a psychiatrist, and he wants to put me on a medication that appears that I'll never be able to get off of. I don't want to be a permanent lifey. I am not a psychopath. I can't get over these anxiety attacks. I had one last night. Like I said, I literally drove to the emergency room and was going to dive in there and just, I don't know, put me away. Something. I can't deal with these. I shake and I start sweating. My shirt was soaking wet. So I got to the emergency room, and the reality of it, then I was able to start breathing better, and it went away. Just like that, it just went away. I was fine. I mean, I was still shaking a little bit. I drove around the hospital a couple times, and then I drove home, and by the time I got home, I was nice and calm, and I climbed into bed and just pretended to be normal. What's the guy gonna do? I'm not real sure. It's affecting my wife, obviously. It's affecting my home life, obviously. Not necessarily in bad ways. It's not like we're fighting. This has only been going on 10 days to 2 weeks. These people have made a complete fry case out of me, so I didn't even finish. So what happened after the heart attack, or the non-heart attack at the hospital, I went and saw my doctor the next day, and he said, you need to go do a heart stress test. Because he's had me diagnosed with COPD since 2017. He's had me on a steroid inhaler. So recently, in the last 6 months to a year, I went and got a Fitbit. I've had a Fitbit, and I went and got me an oxygen sensor, and I keep track of my stuff. And my oxygen is almost always maxed out, except if I move a little bit, then it goes down. And you know, I know that's part of a COPD patient. I'm a little bit in denial of the COPD. Anyway, I went and took the stress test. First, I took an EKG, and he was nice enough to come back and tell me that I failed miserably. Oh, he said it was abnormal. But he said, you know what? I cannot say whether you had a heart attack or not. Okay, there's the anxiety. He literally told me, I can't tell you yes and I can't tell you no. So I had an EKG back in 2021 when I was going through some stress, and that one came back abnormal too, and he never told me that back in 2021. Colette was sitting right there when the nurse, or I don't know if she was, but when the nurse told me that, I was like, yeah, Colette wasn't there. I told her later. But she was there the day that we did the EKG back in 2021, and he never told us this, that it was abnormal. But he did mention going and getting a stress test, which I never did. So anyway, to make this video a little bit shorter, I did go do a stress test, and I managed to fail both of them. I did one on the treadmill, and then I did a chemical one, and they were both abnormal. They said I had 38% coming out of my ventricle side, and it's supposed to be between 65 and 76, and I have 38. So they went and scheduled me for an angioplasty, and of course, this is just feeding on my anxiety. I thought I was having COPD attacks, and now they're trying to make a heart patient out of me. And the kid is freaking out in prison, and I'm freaking out of prison, and everybody's just fucking freaking out, right? I mean, let's face it. He's not going to make it if I'm not around. Which is probably a big part of this. But anyway, I know this is a long video. I really wasn't intending, but this is helping. This is my treatment, right? I'm going to post this no matter what. Anyway, so I went and did these 2 stress tests and failed, and so they decided to have me go over to cardiology. You need to make an appointment with cardiology as soon as possible. So that relieved my stress. No, not really. I've built on that for 4 days, and in the meantime, these anxiety attacks are going on. They do the angioplasty and found nothing. Nothing. They were only in there, they only had me under 11 to 13 minutes. They found nothing. And my wife said I told the nurse that was a death sentence. I kind of remember saying it, I was still out of it. But by them not finding anything, what I was meaning by that was that if it was my heart, it would be something that they could fix. But because it's my COPD, my quality of life is not going to be able to be improved. That breathing attacks and that breathing issues are going to be there the rest of my life. So when I said that, that's kind of what I was saying, is that that's a death sentence for me, because my quality of life sucks as far as breathing and being able to do normal shit. Don't smoke. Anywho, so there we are. Just to add a little bit more fuel to the fire, my wife suggested I go get a second opinion through United Healthcare. As a second opinion club. I don't want, club isn't the right. They have a second opinion bureau. So I did it, and I signed the papers to get the medical records transferred over to them, and all of a sudden, Bellin started blowing up my phone. I don't know if they think I stepped on some footsteps. Oh well, all I wanted was a second opinion. because you said my oxygen was only 38% out, and then you tell me everything is fine. That sent anxiety and red flags all over me. So they called me at my doctor's office and said, well, we want to talk first about your lorazepam that we got you on because we think you're losing your fucking mind. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, he wanted to have a follow-up on lorazepam. I went to that yesterday. And then shortly after that call, I got a text message from cardiology at Bellin saying they wanted to schedule on March 10th. They scheduled me a follow-up on my angiogram. An angiogram that they told me they found absolutely nothing in. They want to do a follow-up. I don't know what they're going to follow up to tell me once again that they found nothing. I mean, they said, we found absolutely nothing, not even 50% blockage in any of my veins. So I guess we're going to follow up and see if maybe it's at 52% next time. I don't fucking know. But either way, that didn't help out my anxiety either. At all. Another hour went by and I got another call. So now I've had a call from Bellin, a text message from Bellin, and now I'm getting another call from Bellin. All in the 3 hours after I signed records for them to send the medical records to this second opinion. I must have stepped on somebody's toes. I didn't mean to. All I wanted was a second opinion. So anyway, the third call, they called me, and it was Bellin Cardiology. And they were like, well, you know what? We have decided that maybe we should revisit what's going on with you. Now they want to do a schedule, an electrocardiogram, and that measures the valves, the output of the valves themselves instead of the arteries being plugged. I think they're leaning toward the valves. Why they wouldn't have tried and looked at that anyway at the first place is beyond me, but maybe this is the symptom. We got to get you all wired on, unscrewed up here. I mean, seriously, they have fried a wire somewhere up here, and there's no reason for it, and I don't know how to control it. It's literally turning into a mental illness. I'm not fucking ill. I got a lot of shit to worry about. I got that kid to worry about. It's driving me freaking crazy. I'll never get over all these criminals that were able to fucking get away from going to prison. It's okay to fucking commit felony. You know that story. I'm back over that shit. So anyway, tomorrow I got my electrocardiogram. And like I told that nurse, when I finally was able to wake up after the angioplasty, I told her, I guess I told her when I was still sleeping it was a death sentence. And then when I woke up, I told her, I said, hang on. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. Somebody almost broadsided my car here at Starbucks and lost my train of thought. I forgot what I told her. I was going to tell you something I told that nurse, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so tomorrow I have my electrocardiogram. I have a psychiatrist that wants to put me on permanent medication, and I really don't want to go there yet. I got the pills. I went and got them, but I didn't start taking them yet. It says once you start them, you can't ever go off them. I'm not I hope I'm not a fucking psycho for the rest of my life. Anyway, I just wanted to point out, this is how easy people can become unwired. I mean, they literally shorted out a wire in my brain by telling me I might have heart issues. And combine it with those 2 breathing attacks I had back to back and the ambulance ride, and then telling me I might have heart issues. And the kid, worrying about the kid because he says he won't live if I die. I just fucking fried my brain, man. So it's a real thing. Mental illness is a real thing, and the only time I can really function is when I'm talking to somebody. When I'm in my own brain, dude, it's bad. It gets bad. Even on my goddamn lorazepam, which doesn't do shit, I managed to think myself right past the lorazepam last night into a full-fledged panic attack. It's bad. So anyway, it's a real thing, everybody. Real people next to you that you love are dealing with real stuff. I mean, I don't even know how to get rid of this. I feel like sometimes when I'm by myself, I feel like I'm going in a circle and it's like a funnel and I'm going down that funnel and I keep going faster and faster around that funnel, and at the end of it, I don't know, mental hospital? Fuck. I mean, where do you get a grip on this? I really don't want to take this lifetime pill. I just think it's an invitation to be a psycho the rest of I don't mean psycho, but I don't want to be a mental patient the rest of my life. I mean, I'm going through some issues right now. I get that test tomorrow. I'll feel a little bit more relieved about the heart, and then I'll know for a fact. And there's a lot of things I can do to improve my lifestyle, even having COPD. I just have to work on those. Like, this is my 6th day in a row where I've only drank about that much of a cup of coffee. I usually have 3. My doctor was absolutely flabbergasted when I told him I probably average 1,100 milligrams of caffeine a day. He was like, well, Christ, it's like you haven't had a heart attack. He said, you're on a fast path to kill yourself. So, I mean, yeah. I've been doing that for 10 years. So it's kind of a miracle that I haven't had heart issues before now, to be honest with you. We'll see. I may not have any at all. Every indication says I have no heart issues, except that 38% is very concerning to me. I think that's why they decided to go back and look at the valves again. So anyway, either way, this video is way longer than I had planned on, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to post it anyway. You watch it, you don't, What are you going to do? Mental health is real, folks. I mean, it's real. I mean, how do you unwire a guy like this in just 2 weeks? Literally just fried the guy's brain. I don't know. All right, anyway, guys, thanks. I'm going to find somebody to talk to pretty soon. Because, have a good day.